Hi, everybody. Matt Bernier and Mike Beard taking a look at the Saturday DRFBets race of the day out at Santa Anita, race number 8, a graded stakes race for fillies and mares. Mile and a 16th. It's the grade 3 La Cañada. Before we dive into that, I'd encourage you to head on over to DRFBets. Take a look at all the latest as far as new sign-up deals are concerned. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go to get all the details. Let's take a look at this field of fillies and mares that are going to be going 8.5 furlongs. You can head on over to the race of the day page on DRF.com. Download your free formulator past performances. Mike and I will rip through this field in post position order. First things first, it sounds like there's a significant amount of rain in the forecast for Friday night into Saturday. Plan accordingly, because there's a real chance that this is run on, at the very least, a sealed surface, but more likely than not sloppy if the rain does come. Having said that, we'll just take it and assume that this race is going to be all set and good to go. The number 1 is Exuberance, going out for Ian Crueljack. Mike, this is a horse that this horse is graded stakes going 2 turns, but to be honest with you, based on the recent form and what she has done going longer, I don't know if I love her.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I feel like if I wanted just, to take a sort of shot in this race with a bigger price, maybe it would be her, if only because she did win her 2-turn debut as a 2-year-old. After that, nothing but graded stakes all last year, and she didn't quite class up in those races, but they weren't total disasters. Second off the layoff, stretching out off of a sprint prep. I can see making a case for her. I just don't really love any one of her races all that much.
This race, we both kind of talked about it a little bit before we came on. No world beaters whatsoever in here for a graded stakes race. You combine that with the fact that some of these horses have been running on turf as opposed to dirt. Some of them have never seen a wet track in their life. There's a number of things thrown at you. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, because that could end up being a major key to this. You see that blue bar indicating Timeform doesn't think that this pace is going to be all that hot, and they've got a couple of horses up there, including the number 2, Stradella Road. Now, Stradella Road is a horse that has yet to try the main track in her career in the afternoons for Gary Studi, but the most recent run was respectable from a speed figure standpoint, an 87 in that Lady Shamrock Stakes. Amandine, the winner, came back and earned an 86. Really, it boils down to, do you think she's going to be able to transfer her form over to the main track?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. The pace scenario that we've laid out here with the Timeform US pace projector, I guess that works to her advantage if the race is truly run that way. She's not my kind of horse switching surfaces like this in a graded stakes race, but as you've pointed out, it's not the toughest field in the world.
Lee Moon is a horse for Richard Baltas that at one time it looked like she was ready to turn the corner and end up being something. She broke through as a maiden out at Aqueduct late in 2017, went out to the West Coast to Del Mar, got through her N1X level, and then they kind of threw her to the Wolves and the Torrey Pines in the Zenyatta. She just couldn't quite class up to those levels. Missed a little bit of time, came back in a turf race, didn't do a heck of a lot of running, but considering the pace was kind of soft that day, I suppose you have a built-in excuse. Got a formulator fact for Richard Baltas. It's a positive one. Past 5 years, turf to dirt, second after the layoff, 8 for 29, only 10 times in the money with a 276 ROI. I've always been a little bit of a fan of hers, but at the same time, depending on the price, really that's what it boils down to for me. If she's anything shorter than that 5-1, I'm not interested. 5-1 or greater, I think she's got a chance.
Yeah, I can sort of look at her the same way, Matt. I don't love her in this race, but if she's the right kind of price, I can see taking a shot. Her improvement since she joined the Baltas barn is noted. Her figures have gone up. I did think she got a perfect trip when she won that first start for Baltas. After that, I didn't love her Torrey Pines, to be honest with you. I didn't think she ran that well that day. She wasn't going to win the Zenyatta anyway. I don't know. I could go either way on her. It all comes down to price.
The winner of the Torrey Pines this past year, anyway, was True Royalty, the number 4 horse. So she's proven going 2 turns. And really, that was the only time she's been allowed to go 2 turns on the main track. She's routed on turf in the past. I guess really it's a couple different things. You can look at it and say she got away with a relatively easy situation pace-wise. I thought she was impressive in the Torrey Pines, though. Then you come back in the Unzip Me. That's probably not what she wants to go down the hill. And then the Raven Run, the pace heated up 7/8 of a mile, shipping out of town. I think she's got a number of built-in excuses. And you know what? If that pace projector is accurate, she might take up the best position of them all.
Yeah, maybe she just gets the right trip in here. And she is at least relatively lightly raced. I sort of feel like she's one of the horses near who could really take a step forward, what she's going to need to do to win this race. Her only 2-turn race, as you pointed out, the Torrey Pines. I don't know. I thought she ran well there. She didn't have a great post out there in post number 10. She was wide around the first turn. But she got forward. She kept up there on the outside the entire way, and she was much the best in that race. I can see her taking a step forward in this race.
Bernina Star is interesting to me, not from a win standpoint, but just from the standpoint of this is a horse early in her career that had some legitimate early speed, and now going long, she's coming from dead last in a number of these races. So I don't know where that early speed has gone. You see that she's more of a nibbler, 9 times runner-up or third-place finisher from 22 lifetime starts. It feels like this level is probably a little bit too tough for her. But again, as we said, this is not a group that's littered with world beaters. I suppose if you're looking for a big upset, maybe her.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, it's certainly a race. It doesn't feel like the pace is going to set up right for this horse. But you know what? Maybe everybody sees that. They go out early, it falls apart for, she sort of is what she is. She's not that great. Maybe she gets the right setup and gets a bigger piece of this race.
The number 6 is Escape Clause. This is a horse that came down from Canada and really actually performed quite well in her first start in Southern California. She was moved up to the first place position via disqualification in that Catherine Crosby down at Del Mar, going 2 turns on the grass. The red carpet probably too long for her at 1 mile 3/8. They cut her back to the Bobby Frankel most recently. I didn't think she ran poorly in the grand scheme of things against better horses than she'll face here. The question is, do you think that main track form that she had in Canada translates to Southern California?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean, she's won 16 times on dirt. I'm just going to assume that she can handle it. I'm not sure why they tried to turn her into a turf horse since she's gotten here, but she's run well on the grass. If she can run one of those races in this spot, I mean, isn't she just the horse to beat in here?
100%, especially if you do get a wet track, because she is 1-for-1 over a wet racing strip. And the number 7, KP Wildcat, if you're looking for a total fresh face, it's this filly here. She's been going through New Mexico and Arizona, different spots like that. At the end of the day, on paper, I don't think she's fast enough, but she's another one. You want to talk about a winner, 13 for 21 overall. The distance shouldn't be an issue for her. She's proven going around 2 turns. Again, if you're looking for a fresh face, why not her?
Yeah, right. She's run an occasional fast race, too. It seems like mostly her best races come sprinting as far as figures go. Only loses in New Mexico when Baffert ships one down there to face her. I don't know. She's pretty good. I just feel like this was a tough spot.
It's not a big field. It's not a great field, but it's an interesting betting race. I feel like you can go a few different ways. There should be no real heavy favorite in here, I wouldn't think. The 8th race at Santa Anita on Saturday, the DRFBets race of the day. Let's take a look at our picks. Mike, ultimately, you went with True Royalty. That first time going 2 turns on dirt, I agree. I thought she looked good. If she can replicate that Torrey Pines, she's right there.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, I'm not against your top pick, Matt, who I just think is the horse to beat, but I just wanted to give True Royalty one more chance to step forward here.
Yeah, and ultimately, I just kind of went with the horse that I thought was the most talented, Escape Clause. She's in good form at this point, and like you say, she's proven over the main track. And if it does end up wet, she's proven over a wet surface as well. So I'm going to go with the number 6 horse, Escape Clause. Mike's going to go with the number 4, True Royalty, in the 8th at Santa Anita on Saturday. It's the DRFBets race of the day, the Grade 3 La Cañada. If you're playing this race, you're playing any race at Santa Anita, playing any race anywhere on Saturday, you should be playing with DRFBets. Again, head on over to bets.drf.com for all the details about new sign-up members and their bonuses. Schedule post time for the 8th race out at the Great Race Place Saturday afternoon. Race number 8, right around 7 o'clock. Best of luck.